Hi, well, welcome to the wonderful world of metal point. Now, metal point is the art of drawing, not with a pencil, but with a piece of metal. Now, it's a very ancient art form, or very old art form. It reached its heyday during the Renaissance, back in 1400, and by about 1550 it disappeared entirely, and it really hasn't been seen much since. Now, if you have a piece of metal, and this is a lump of 24 karat gold, it's in a nice little holder there that used to have lead in it. You get this from the newsagent, but of course you've got to get the gold from a jeweler. Put that in there, and you can draw on a piece of paper with it. Except this is a piece of untreated paper. Normal stuff you get in a book or a computer paper there, something like that. And it won't leave a mark. However, if you coat the paper with something, it's an undercoat of some description, then you'll get a mark, a track. As you can see here, when you actually try to draw with this, it leaves a beautiful grey line. And you see it's like, notice I'm doing this in circular motions there. That's how you actually get the gold onto the paper. It's not quite like drawing with a pencil, but it's very close. Now, the colour you get is a very, very warm grey. Now, pencils are very silvery grey, very cold, but gold is very, very warm. Now, you don't have to use gold, you can use other things, but just to show you there's no tricks here, I've got a gold wedding ring here, and you can just as easily use that. Now, here we go. This is an error. I'm drawing a picture of the mask in front of me, a Renaissance mask. I thought that was rather appropriate since it was invented during the Renaissance. And there you go. See the circular motions of the ring there will leave a beautiful gold track. There you go. Like that. Now, I wouldn't recommend this as a method of polishing up your wedding rings at all, because the gold is actually being transferred to the surface and you're wearing the wedding ring out, which won't make you very popular with your wife. So there we go. It's nice little circular motions. Now, this is a gold ingot, and it will work exactly the same way. See? It'll leave a nice little golden line. Now, gold is not the only metal. If I want darker tones, I'd use silver. Now, to give you an idea, this is a Australian 50-cent piece. I've got a silver spoon there, so these are familiar household items. And if I use a silver spoon, note that I get a much darker track, a much darker line. See? Like that. Now, this is how I can control the depth of tone. Now, the harder you press, the darker it goes. And there we are. That's just the back of a spoon. But it's not really good to be drawing with cutlery, so what I use in that circumstance is be a very similar stylus there with a piece of pure silver wire. And the silver there is 99.59% pure. Now, the reason it's got to be pure is that if you don't use pure silver, you've got impurities. And the impurities are things like copper, which will go green as it tarnishes, which is not a very good colour, particularly if you're drawing someone's portrait. They don't really want to look green. It's okay on a mask though. But this piece of pure silver, it goes on grey, but in time it tarnishes and will go a beautiful sepia colour, like the old-fashioned sepia photographs. And there we go. So as I said, any metal will work. And in fact, let's use these two coins. This is an old 1944 penny, which I think my father-in-law had in his pocket for luck. And there we go. And that gives a distinctly greenish tone, but it still works. See, it still leaves that grey track, but once again, once it tarnishes, you'll get a colour on it, which is not an attractive one particularly. Now, the old Australian 50-cent piece is good because it's got very high quantities of silver. So if you use that, very, very dark, see? It goes on extremely dark, and if I want to work on that ribbon over there of the mask, see, I can really work that in. Now, don't get the impression that I actually do drawings with bits and pieces of coins next to me. I don't. I always use the styluses, or styli, and I use that, of course, because it's far more accurate than holding a coin in your hand or a lump of gold. But it's just to demonstrate any metal whatsoever will work on this surface. That's why you can't wear jewellery when you're doing a gold point, because you're going to get little marks all over it, and once the mark goes down, that's it. Can't do anything about it. Now this is a completed gold point. It's actually a mix of gold and silver. And you can see where the dark tones are is silver and the lighter tones are gold. Now this particular drawing is one of a Squirrel Glider, and I've tried to get that beautiful luminous ghostly look that they have at night time on these, but that's very, very typical of a gold point drawing in this method. So you just get the tones deeper and deeper and deeper as you rub it with the gold. You won't be able to see much going on there because it's just about got as much as it can take on there. You do reach a saturation point with the gold, and then you've got to switch it to silver to get darker tones. So if I was to work this over in silver, I'll just extend that little bit of bark there, and you can see how that would come up. See? There. It's a bit darker there. There we are. So one of the things that all metal points have, and what makes them different to pencil drawings, is that when you tilt into the light, they will actually reflect the metal that's there.